All right. Here he is. Defendant County Division 5 in session pursuant to adjournment. All persons having business before this court draw an active attention and shall be heard. And God said this United States. This state is the honorable court. The Honorable Monty Watkins presiding. Please be seated.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, guys.
We have just a couple of matters to deal with before we bring the jury in. So we want to go ahead and deal with those matters. Who is it? Okay, where does that stand? Mr. Law?
I believe we're working on trying to find another trial date.
Well, where is he? He's found it here for the first time
Yes.
in many, many months, right?
Got 2.5.
Okay, so you're looking at another trial date?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please move forward. All right?
Yes.
Any other matters?
No, sir, the other we're tracking is related.
Okay, now, I think there was a mention with regard to the jury instruction.
Yes, Your Honor. Just a couple of things that the state wanted to request about the jury instructions.
Okay.
On count 4, the instruction is for attempted aggravated rape of a child, which is not correct. It's attempted rape of a child. Not page 4, count 4. So several times it says attempted aggravated rape of a
Yeah,
child.
that's one of those things.
And then the theory of attempt that is in these instructions, the state is asking for a different theory of attempt, which is subsection C of the attempt statute, which is that the defendant did some act intending to complete a course of action or cause a result that would constitute rape of a child under circumstances as he believed them to be at the time, and his actions constituted a substantial step towards the commission of rape of a child,
Okay.
rather than that he did some act.
Hold on, where did you locate that definition?
I'm reading Tennessee Practice Jury Instructions 4.01, which is,
4.01, okay,
yes, Your Honor, just criminal attempt.
all right.
That would be it.
Okay, very well. We can make those changes. I have my pattern instructions here, so I can make those changes. All right, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Hopkins?
No, sir, not as to the instructions.
Okay, very well, let's bring it in and get started. Mr. Monkable, what are you doing here?
Actually, Your Honor, I do have a Rule 29 motion
Okay.
before the jury comes in. I think the state rested on Friday.
It did. And I've forgotten all about that. I announced on Friday that we would have that this morning.
We did.
So, go ahead, make your motion.
Your Honor, pursuant to Rule 29, Tennessee Rules of Criminal Procedure, I make a motion to dismiss all counts against Mr. Coons. I would submit that the state has failed to prove each and every element to each and every defense beyond a reasonable doubt. And I would ask the court to dismiss those 4 counts based on the proof that the court has heard in this trial.
All right, state's response.
The state requests that the defendant's motion be denied. The state has introduced a substantial amount of proof pointing towards Roy Coons for every element of each of the counts charged, including that his DNA is on the victim's body 3 times and on the point of egress of the murder on the windowsill, including evidence about the timeline not being consistent with his statements, his opportunity and proximity towards the crime, and also the statement of Joanna Ortega that he came to her trailer that day right in the window of opportunity when she was killed, among other things. And there's an overwhelming amount of proof in this case, and we ask that the motion be denied.
All right, well, I think the question has been raised with respect to the counts in the indictment, and as such, the court will respectfully deny the motion for judgment of acquittal. All right? All right. I was asking Mr. Monkey, what was he doing? Just observing?
20 years, always learning, Judge.
Okay, I thought maybe you needed to see me for some reason, but apparently not. And that's a good thing. I don't need to see you either. Okay, let's bring it.
All rise.
All right, please be seated. Good morning. All bright and cheerful this morning. That's a good sign. Well rested, all of that. We're going to go ahead and call the roll and get started. Okay, everybody's here. All right. The state is rested. As you well know, it's now the defense chance to put on any proof. Do you have any proof, Mr. Hopkins?
Yes, Your Honor, I call Roy Coons Senior.
Okay.
You'll raise your right hand and place it.
Do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
Change your mind, it's right.
All right, Mr. Coons, would you introduce yourself to the court, please?
Roy Coons,
And Mr. Coons, are you a senior, junior,
senior.
and is your last name spelled C-O-O-N-S?
Yes,
All right. Mr. Coons, are you related to Roy Coons Jr.?
father.
And is that the gentleman who's seated here in the courtroom in the blue shirt?
Yes.
Mr. Coons, I want to ask you, back in August of 2017, where were you living?
And, I can't think of the name of the trailer park now. Hillview Acres Mobile Home Park.
And is that located here in Davidson County?
Yes, ma'am.
Speak up a little bit louder, Mr. Coons, please.
Yes.
All right. And Mr. Coons, that mobile home park, what lot did you live in?
C4.
And how long approximately have you lived at lot C4?
17 years.
Are you familiar with the trailer located on lot C2?
Yes.
How are you familiar with that trailer?
A friend of mine, David Love, lived there.
Did he live there before? When did he live there?
He moved there in 97 and we moved there in 2002.
And do you know at what point, if any, did Mr. Love leave lot C2?
He died in 2015.
Do you know when in 2015?
Not the date, just I think it's around August.
And from the time you moved in 2002 until his passing in 2015, did you ever have occasion to go to his trailer at lot C2?
Well, his son put the trailer up for sale, and I went down there and helped him clear out a bunch of stuff in the shed and in the trailer.
Okay. I'm asking before he died. Were you ever?
Oh yeah, I was down there for 15 years. You know, I was down there about every day.
Okay. When you say about every day, what did you do when you went down there?
We just sat out on the porch, smoked, talked, and you know.
Did you ever have occasion to go inside?
Oh yes,
Can you approximate how many times you might have been inside the trailer at lot C2?
every day just about. I'd say, you know, when I come home from work, that's where I'd go, straight down there, you know, because he's by himself after his wife died, and I'd go down there and sit with him. We'd watch TV and play cards, you know.
Did you have any kind of long-standing tradition about playing cards?
Yeah, every Saturday night.
I want to ask you about a few questions about your son, Roy Coons Jr., okay?
Okay.
Did your son, and I'm going to refer to him as your son since you both have the same name, I want to make sure we're talking about the same Coons.
Okay.
Did your son ever do any work for other people who lived in the mobile home park?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Do you know approximately how many mobile homes he may have worked on in that mobile home park?
Probably 8 or 10, something like that, that I know of.
Okay. And are those, how did you know he did the work in those trailers?
Well, I know the people that he worked for in there, you know.
And what kind of work would he do?
Just about anything. He took carpet off of Miss Joe's porch up there in C7, I believe it was, and then Catherine up on the hill and washed trailers up on top of the hill. You know, he'd done a little bit of everything in there.
Did he also on occasion mow yards for residents?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Did you also mow yards for residents?
yeah, still do.
All right. How many yards do you mow in that neighborhood?
5, sometimes 6.
Okay, and were you doing that kind of work back in 2017?
Oh, yeah.
I want to ask you more questions now about Lot C2. And you said that a man named David Love had lived there,
Yes,
and I believe you said he had been a friend of yours.
yes.
Do you know whether or not Mr. Coons did any kind of work inside of that trailer for Mr. Love?
Judge, I would just ask if we could have him testify from personal knowledge, not what was told to him by Mr. Coons Jr.
What, if any, work did you see Mr. Coons doing down in Lot C2?
Inside the trailer, outside, or
Well,
what?
let's start with inside.
Okay. He replaced the faucets in the front bathroom. You had to take a panel off inside the closet to get in there to it. That's showing where that got in there at.
Okay. You say front bathroom.
Yeah, when you go in the doors to the right.
Okay. And did you actually see him do that work?
Yeah.
Okay. What other work, if any, did you see him do?
Stretched the carpet.
All right. Can you explain what stretching carpet means?
Well, we kept trying to get David to have his carpet cleaned. And if you don't clean carpet over the years, it'll just wrinkle and wad up, you know, when you're walking on it. So the only thing you can do is stretch it, try to get some of the wrinkles out of it. You have to take everything out of the room, stretch the carpet over there, cut it off, and re-tack it to the tack strip.
All right, what is a tack strip?
It's what the carpet hooks to hold it in place. It's got a bunch of nails in it.
Okay. And what do you do with the carpet when you get up to the tack strip?
Well, you got a kicker, you have to kick it, stretch it over it, and press it back in there.
And are you actually pressing the carpet then onto these nails?
Yeah.
Are the nails sharp?
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever have occasion to cut your fingers on those tack strips?
Well, I ain't, you know, 'cause I didn't do that much of it, you know.
Were you present when Mr. Coons was stretching the carpet in Lot C2?
Yes,
Do you know what rooms he stretched the carpet in?
the front bedroom is the one that I know of, and the hallway. We're going to the front bedroom.
And these are things you observed yourself.
Yes.
And when he was stretching the carpet, again, can you describe for the jury, I mean, is it something he does standing up? Is he on his hands and knees? How does that work?
You know, you're down on your knees with a kicker. It's got a pad on it, and it's a bar, and it's got a bunch of claws on the bottom of it. And you put it in the carpet and take your knee and kick it.
Is that strenuous work?
Well, for me, it would be, old as I am.
Did you observe whether or not Mr. Coons got hot and sweating when he was doing that?
Well, no, David kept it a little cool in there, but, you know, you get down there kicking, you know, you're gonna get a little hot.
As far as his skin, did you observe whether his bare skin was touching the carpet in that room? That bedroom?
Well, he wore shorts, all he ever wore, just about, you know.
So would he have been on his hands and bare knees
Yes,
stretching that carpet?
yes.
Did he stretch the entire carpet? That is, did he go over the entire carpet inside the bedroom or only a portion of it?
Well, you just gotta do that one side, because one side's already hooked. You just kick it to the other side. You know.
So would he have started at the one side and then worked his way across the entire room?
Well, after we got everything out of the room, you know, you just roll it back and then start kicking one corner over.
Did you observe him over the carpet in the entire bedroom?
Oh, yes.
And you said something about moving the furniture out of the room first. Did you assist him in doing that?
Yes.
Did anything happen while you were moving that furniture out?
Well, he had a big screen, old model big screen TV, probably that wide, barely would fit through the door. Of course, I tear her knuckle up, bringing that out, but other than that, you know,
Did it cause you to bleed?
oh yeah,
Do you know whether you bled on that carpet?
I don't know, to tell you the truth on that. You know, might have bled on the door facing or something, but it was just a big scratch.
Do you know how long it took Mr. Coons to restretch that carpet?
Probably 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes.
During the period of time that Mr. Love lived there, you said that you went down there regularly. Did your son, Mr. Coons Jr., did he go down to Lot C2 regularly with you?
Yeah, he didn't go as much as I did, but, you know, he was down there plenty.
Do you know how many times he was down there?
No.
Could you even estimate how many times that was?
Well, over the years, probably 1,000 times, you know.
Definitely more than a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Coons, I noticed when you were testifying, you're scratching your arms a little bit. Do you have any kind of skin condition?
Yeah, I've always had it. It's, I don't know what, I go to a skin doctor every month. They do it freezing stuff, you know. It's supposed to heal it up, but it ain't done it.
All right. Would you mind, Your Honor, I'd ask that he come down. I want to let the jury get a look at his arms in just like 2 seconds. But first, I want to ask you about that. As a result of that skin condition, Mr. Coons, is there anything unusual about the shedding of your skin on your arms?
Oh, yeah, it flakes off little places all the time.
Do you ever have you ever noticed you leaving skin behind when you've been
Injection
somewhere?
leading.
I'm asking if you notice it or not.
Oh, yeah, well, just rub my arm there. There's one right there,
You
you
need to
know.
get close to the microphone.
Okay. I mean, anytime I rub my arms or something, I will notice flaking.
And has that been going on for a long period of time, or is that recent?
Oh, for years.
Did you have that flaking condition of your skin on the times you visited Lot C2?
Yes, sir.
Did you have the flaking of the skin going on when you were helping Mr. Coons move furniture out so he could stretch the carpet down?
Yes, sir.
Do you know whether or not you left skin inside Lot C2?
I imagine I did over the years, you know, plenty of it.
And now Your Honor, to ask that he just be able to walk down in front of the jury to show him your arms, is all. All right, thank you, Mr. Coons. Mr. Coons, do you know whether or not your son has a similar skin condition as you?
He's got it, it ain't as bad as mine. Not yet, anyway.
And have you observed that flaking of his skin in the past?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Coons, you testified about the carpet stretching. Did you observe any other work done by Mr. Coons inside Lot
A little
C2?
bit too close.
Okay, so,
I'm sorry, did you hear my question?
yes.
Did you observe any other work by Mr. Coons inside C2?
You talking about that I seen him do, or
That you
is
saw
that?
him do? That you saw him do?
The kitchen sink, he put the down thing on the sink. They'd crawl up under them cabinets to put that in.
Anything else that you can recall that you saw him do?
Inside the trailer. Well, he went down there and helped David move. He had a big old home entertainment center in the living room. He went down there and worked on that thing, hooking it up, speakers and surround sound and all that.
Did you estimate that he might have been in that trailer 1,000 times?
Yes, sir.
What about yourself? More than that?
Yeah, I'd say.
Mr. Coons, do you recall August the 10th of 2017 when this Artiega's body was found in Lot C2? Do you remember that day?
Yes,
Do you recall seeing your son that night?
yes,
Did you notice anything unusual about your son that night?
no,
Were there ever, did Mr. Coons live there with you full-time at Lot 4?
not full time. Most of the time he would, but him and my wife couldn't get along, and he'd leave for a little while, and then he'd come back, you know,
Do you know where he went when that happened?
down to camp.
What kind of camp?
It's down there by Shelby Park.
Would he live outdoors, basically?
Yeah,
Was he always welcome to come back to your house?
yeah,
Are you aware of any plans of his to leave the state?
no.
If Mr. Coons had needed money, would you have given it to him?
I gave him plenty of it.
That's all.
All right, cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Coons.
No,
Mr. Coons, when was the last time you can remember being in the trailer at C2?
it was about probably 2 weeks after David died.
And when did your friend die?
I'm thinking August. I ain't certain on that date.
August, you mean 2015?
Yeah, 2015.
And when was the last time that you knew of personally your son, Roy Coons Jr., being inside trailer C2?
I don't know on that. You know,
Would it have been before your friend died or after your friend died?
as far as I know, before.
Before? So you never personally saw him in trailer C2 after your friend died?
No.
So that would have put it sometime August 2015 or before? Now, your particular trailer faces a different direction than the trailer C2, correct?
Correct.
If trailer C2 goes in this direction, and for the record, I'm indicating my hand pointing towards the front of the courtroom, your trailer would be pointed in this direction,
Yes.
and for the record, this would be, my hand is pointing from the right side of the courtroom to the left side of the courtroom, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And the only thing in between your trailer and C2 is another trailer that goes in the same direction as C2. Would that be correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And behind the C2 trailer is a tree line, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that tree line kind of makes that whole back area secluded,
Yes,
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
There aren't any lights back there or other houses
No.
that can look into that side of the trailer park, correct?
No.
And you could actually walk from your trailer around the other trailer and go straight along that tree line and come to the back of Lot C2, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And the road where everybody else would be driving and walking and the other trailers would be to the front of C2, correct?
Front of it, yes.
And next to C2 would be trailer C1 that goes the same direction, correct?
That's on the opposite side.
On the opposite side. So we have C1, C2, and C3 all go the same direction,
Same
correct?
direction, yes.
And in front of C1, that tree line kind of extends around a little bit around trailer C1, correct? I mean, C1's not sitting on the road, in other words. It's back a little ways from the road.
All three of them's even right there on the front road, and then the backside, it's a tree line.
And also, besides C1, there's a tree line on the other side of C1, correct?
There's trees out there in the front, but there's not like a tree line.
Your Honor, if I could have the exhibit that shows the aerial photograph for just a moment.
It's gonna be right there. Okay.
So for purposes of the record, I'm showing you what's already been introduced as Exhibit 2B. Mr. Coons, are you able to see that picture okay on your screen?
Yes, ma'am.
This trailer right here would be where you live with your son, correct?
Yes.
And this trailer right here would be the trailer we are referring to as trailer C2, correct?
Yeah, it's C2 one right there.
So we have C1, C2, and C3 all going in the same direction, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you know a lady by the name of Madge Green, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And Madge Green's trailer would be this one right here, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And for the record, it's the one that has initials written on it in the middle of the page, Your Honor. So, Madge Green's trailer, her door opens up onto that tree line, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And C1 right here has trees on the other side of it, correct?
Well, it has two trees out there in that field and two bushes beside the trailer. That's what right there's showing.
So we see Old Hickory Boulevard comes along through here, Old Dickerson Pike, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And there is a little distance from where trailer C1 is and where Old Dickerson Pike is.
Yes, ma'am.
Some grass, some trees, some bushes, some leaves, things like that, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And a person can walk from Madge Green's trailer down along the tree line to C2 without any interruption or fences or anything like that, correct?
Well, I reckon, we could, yeah.
How far away in feet would you say your shed is from trailer C2?
I don't have no idea in feet, it might be 100 feet or something like that, I don't know.
100 feet or so? It's pretty close by. It's a small space. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Kind of about the distance of maybe a large front yard might be.
Yeah.
And you said that your son did a lot of work around the trailer park, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure that would mean he would have to use tools to do some of that work, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he have his own tool bag, his own set collection of tools?
No, I've got tools in that shed.
What kind of tools did you have in that shed?
You name it, I've got it.
Okay.
It's
Got a ladder or a step ladder?
ladders, and I've got ladders and saws and just about anything,
Crowbars or metal to like help you get the carpet up?
Well, that kicker, just.
What's a kicker look like? Is it kind of like a crowbar would be? or
No.
What's it like?
It's got a bunch of teeth on it. It goes down and grabs the carpet, and then the rod comes back, and it's a big padded thing right here. It's got a spring in it, you just kick at it. It kicks the carpet forward. You push it over the tack strip.
Did your son ever do any work on windows for any of the residents that you know of?
I don't know, to tell you the truth.
Did you have any kind of tools that could be used to maybe unpry things, unstick things?
Screwdriver, putty knives, stuff like that,
Okay. And due to the fact that your son lived there and he did not have any job outside of the trailer park maintenance and things of that nature, correct? How long had it been since he had had a full-time job? Judge is dealing with a burglary and he's asked him about giving money.
I'm going to allow it. I mean, it's cross-examination.
How long has it been since he's had a full-time job?
He truth it, I don't remember.
Do you remember, can you remember any full-time job he's ever had?
Oh yeah, he's worked at Custom Mobility and worked for a remodeling company. They made wheelchair ramps for vans and all that.
Was that within, I know you were talking about when your friend David died, was he working after your friend David had died anywhere?
No, not that I know of.
And you don't know when the last time his full-time job was?
No, ma'am.
But he was receiving, his money income was basically what you would give him and what he would receive on a disability check.
Yes, ma'am.
And would he get that check once a month?
Yes, ma'am.
So given the fact that your son, Roy Coons Jr., did work around the various trailers, it would not be unusual to see him walking around carrying a tool bag or walking around and carrying a ladder, would it?
Well, I mean, he didn't do that kind of work every day, you know,
He might not do it every day, but he did it quite often. He did work for people, and people knew in the trailer park that he did
Yeah.
work on. So if someone were to see him, say, on top of Madge Green's roof, caulking along the awning thing, that wouldn't be an unusual sight. That wouldn't raise any alarm or suspicion, correct?
not that I know of, you know.
Now, you were never present to see at any time Roy Coons Jr. do any work on on either of the bathrooms, correct?
Yeah, the front bathroom.
So you were personally there and saw him working on that bathroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you saw him, if I understand your testimony is that you saw him working on the bathroom which would have been closest to the street and farthest from the tree line.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you had an opportunity to talk to your son, Roy Coons Jr., over the phone this weekend, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you remember, you talked to him on more than one occasion this weekend, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember on one of those calls saying that you were not there when Roy worked on the bathroom?
Yes, ma'am.
So is that the truth?
The back bathroom.
When you say that bathroom,
Back.
the back, okay. So you were not present to ever see Roy, your son, work on the bathroom closest to the tree line?
No, ma'am, I wasn't.
And you also told your son that you weren't there when Roy did work on the trailer, but that you may have helped him with the carpet. Do you remember telling your son that over the telephone this weekend?
No, I helped with the carpet. I was, you know,
So you don't remember this weekend over a phone call saying that you weren't there when Roy did work on the trailer, but you may have helped with the carpet?
I helped with the carpet. You know, that's all I know. You know,
So you and your son this weekend discussed what your testimony was going to be today, correct?
no, ma'am.
Do you normally call him up and talk to him about what renovation work you've done in C2?
No, ma'am. He calls me every day, and he's up there with nobody to talk to. And
Well,
nothing,
don't
you know.
say where he is.
Well, you know, he wants somebody to talk to, and we sit and talk.
But you know that you've been here much of this weekend, and you know that you had to, because you're a potential witness, sit outside of the courtroom because you're not allowed to know what's being said in the courtroom, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But you discussed with your son this weekend about when and what you saw him doing in the trailer, correct?
If you say I did, I guess I did. I don't know. You know, I don't remember.
Now, when you were doing the carpet kicking, you were saying that it's to get rid of the wrinkles, and you go from one side of the room, you kick the wrinkles out to the other side of the room. Am I understanding that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if we have the room, and let's say that this is the room here, this box area here.
Yeah.
And where the jury box is the window. Are you with me, what I'm
Yeah.
talking about in the room now?
Yeah.
So the jury box would be the side wall that has the window. And where you are would be the side of the wall that's the farthest from the door. Are you with me at this point?
Yeah.
And this side here would be where that closet is, the opposite side from the window. Kind of.
Yeah.
You're with-
Yeah.
And where I am would be the side of the wall that would be closest to the tree line. Okay. You picture the room? Is that,
Now the closet's on this wall here.
so your memory is the closet is on the side of the wall closest to the tree line?
Yeah.
So the closet and the wall that has the window would actually touch each other?
No, the window's on that wall.
Well, in our scenario, what we're doing is this is the wall that's got the window, okay? This is the wall that would have the closet and the door into the room. This would be where it's closest to the street, and this would be the section going to the rest of the trailer. Can you picture that?
No, not the way you described it. Okay.
Well, let's make it simple. Which part of the room did you start on with the carpet? And you stretched it to what other side of the room?
The first thing we done was took the furniture out.
Right?
Well, when you came in the room, down the hall, you came in, this wall here is where the closet's at.
Okay.
And then this wall over here is and then the window you're talking about is on that wall.
Okay. We're doing the room differently, but so you could take me from describe the wall where you started stretching the carpet. Describe it for me. What was on that wall? Where was that wall? Because you said you started on one side of the room and you would kick it and stretch it to another. What I'm trying to get an idea of, did you stretch it from where the doorway is to the opposite side? Did you stretch it from the window over towards the interior hallway? Did you stretch it from the closet going over to the window? Where did you stretch it from the exterior wall without the window towards the rest of the trailer? Where did you start the stretching?
Where the biggest wrinkles was at is where
Where
we
was
started at. Well, 2 years ago, it's hard for me to remember where the wrinkles was at, but wherever the big wrinkles was at to where we started kicking.
Okay, so you have no memory whatsoever. How long did it take you to stretch this carpet?
I didn't stretch it. My son did. I helped him.
Well, okay, so you helped him stretch it, right? You're there.
Well, I
with
helped him
him.
get the furniture out and
So
stuff.
where did he do all this tacking things down? What wall was he tacking the carpet towards?
The window, or the front window.
Towards the front window?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would have been that area where you were talking about those tacks and all that would have been.
They're all the way around the wall.
Okay,
Tack
all
strips.
around the wall, close to where that window is.
Yeah.
Did you ever touch Johanna Ortega?
No.
Had you ever spoken to Johanna Ortega?
No.
Was that a no?
No.
All right. Now, you were at work with your wife on August 10th of 2017 up until, what, about 11:30 that night?
11 o'clock.
Okay.
I think it was.
And when you got there, police were still on the scene, correct?
Yes.
And when you go to work, you have to clock in. There's like a record of when you and your wife are at work, correct?
Yes,
And you
yes.
told the detectives about that so they could verify, correct?
Yes.
Now all of your brothers are deceased, correct?
Yes.
And in August of 2017, all of your brothers were deceased, correct?
Yes.
And that's what you told police, correct?
Yes.
Now, you had a nephew, a nephew by the name of Little David Coons, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And where was Little David Coons in August of 2017?
I don't have no idea.
What? I didn't hear you.
I don't have no idea.
Do you remember what you told the police where you thought he was?
I probably told him he's probably in jail.
Okay. And do you remember telling because the detectives came and were questioning you and asking you about your male relatives, right?
Yeah.
And do you remember them asking you about, or you telling them about Jimmy Coons and Thomas, somebody with the name of Thomas?
Yeah.
Who were those individuals?
Nephews.
Okay. And where did you tell the police that those individuals were?
In the penitentiary.
And you only have one son, correct?
Yes.
And that's Roy Coons Jr., correct?
Correct.
And Roy Coons Jr. has two sons, correct?
Yes.
And one of those is Austin, who lives in Myrtle Beach, correct?
Correct.
And the other one is Tyler, who lives in Smyrna or Laverne, correct?
Correct.
Now, do you remember, well, put this, isn't it true that your son, Roy Coons Jr., told you that management told him he had to move away from the trailer park?
Yes, ma'am.
And he told you that because management kicked him out, he needed to borrow money from you to purchase a tent, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And he told you this after the police had come to your home and had talked to the two of you out on your front porch, correct?
Correct.
He was living with you when the police came and interviewed the two of you,
Yes.
correct? How soon after the police came to interview the two of you on your front porch did your son tell you that management told him he had to leave?
I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, something like that.
And your son picked up and moved, correct?
Yes.
Now, you also, at some point, when the police came and talked to you in September of 2017, you told the police that your son didn't have a phone now, correct?
I think it was cut off or something at that time.
Okay. You also would agree with the statement that the Ortega children were never out of the house outside playing that you ever saw.
I might have said that.
Well, let me ask you, is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were, in August of 2017, to your knowledge, your son, Roy Coons Jr., did not have a girlfriend, correct?
Oh, he had plenty of them.
Do you remember telling the detectives that, as of right now, as far as you knew, he did not have a girlfriend at that time?
At that time, he might not have, but he's always had girlfriends, so.
But would you, if the recording that was taken by the police has you saying, when asked, does Roy have a girlfriend, that you said, nah, not now, as far as you know? Would that be correct?
I guess.
Okay. And you never saw strange cars and comings and goings at Lot C2, did you?
No.
Mr. Coons, you didn't kill Joanna Ortega, did you?
No, ma'am.
I have just a moment, Your Honor. No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Coons, did you concoct any plan to come in here and lie to this jury today?
No, sir.
Has everything you told the jury been the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Did you know Mr. Coons, your son, to have girlfriends?
Yes.
Did you keep up with who and how many?
It's hard to do right there.
Why is that?
Every time he turned around, he had a new one. You know, it's,
Did you ever see women in his car with him?
yes,
And what kind of car did he have back in 2017?
little Cavalier.
Was it silver in color?
Yes.
And as far as this camping that you testified to about, was there anything unusual in your mind about him going camping for several weeks, or living outdoors in homeless communities?
No, he lived down there by Shelby Park for a year with a girl in a tent down there. You know.
Was this before Miss Ortega was killed?
Yeah, that's back before then.
So when he requested to get a tent and go back out, did that raise any red flags in your mind?
No.
Being friends with Mr. Love for how many years was it? 15, I think you said?
Well, I've been living there for 17 years. He died in 15, so it's 15 years.
During that period of time, was there anyone besides Mr. Coons that you're aware of that did work inside his trailer?
No.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Coons. Do you know anyone named Jerry Claiborne?
No.
Do you know anybody named Billy Trapani?
No.
What about Donald Williams?
No.
Did you ever see them around Lot C2?
I don't know him, but I know.
How soon in relation to when Mr. Love died did Mr. Coons do this carpet stretching you testified? Do you know?
I don't remember, the time period when it was.
Do you know if it was close in time before he died?
It might have been 6 months, a year, or, right in that area. I don't know for sure.
Could it have been sooner?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. You testified that when Mr. Love died, you assisted in moving things out of Lot C2. Is that right?
Yes.
What things did you move, if you recall?
David called and had one of them dumpsters brought out there.
Well, let me ask you, David who?
His son,
Is his name
David
also
Jr.
David?
Yeah, David Jr.
Okay.
And we hauled stuff out of there. Anything that he didn't want himself, he threw it in the dumpster. Throw it away.
Do you know if he left things in the trailer?
Yeah, furniture. I talked to the man about,
Well, I'm not, don't talk about what other
Yeah.
people told you, but
No.
did you see other furniture left there?
yeah, he left the furniture in the truck.
Times that you and Mr. Coons went and visited over the years, did you ever use the restroom inside that truck?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how many times you might have done that?
No,
What about Mr. Coons Jr.? Do you know how many times he used the restroom in the truck?
no, to tell you the truth, I don't.
But do you have recollections of him going down there to use the restroom, whether you observed him using it or not?
Yeah, when I wasn't at home or something, he couldn't get in, he'd go down there.
That's all, thank you.
Brief follow-up, Your Honor. Which restroom would you use?
If we was playing cards, I'd use the back one. If I was sitting in there watching TV, I'd use the front one.
Now, you were talking about your son moving. You know who Mr. Hinton is, correct?
Who?
Mr. Hinton, the property manager?
Oh,
Big, tall
Yeah,
guy, kind
yeah,
of hard
yeah.
of hearing? Okay. Mr. Hinton never said a word to you about your son living on the property, did he?
no,
Mr. Hinton never asked you to have your son move out of the shed, correct?
no,
And to your knowledge, you never saw Mr. Hinton and your son ever talking, did you?
no, I'll tell you the truth, I didn't.
No further questions.
Anything further, Ms. Hopkins?
One moment, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You may step down, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna need to take up a quick matter with the lawyers. I'm gonna need you to just step out just for a couple of minutes. Not long, just a couple of minutes, okay?
All rise.
All right, please be seated. Something I meant to say earlier, I didn't think about it. Does your client intend to testify, Mr. Hopkins?
Your Honor, could we have just a few seconds to talk, please?
All right.
No, Your Honor. We discussed that issue, and we have executed actually two waivers, Judge. The first one is the waiver of the $50 fine, which he has signed and I have signed. The other is the waiver of his right to testify during the trial.
All right, but I will need him to stand and go through the moment policy, and I'll need you to do that. Raise your right hand, Mr. Coons.
You swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. Mr.
You are Roy Coons Jr.?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Coons, during the course of my representation and the pendency of this case, have you and I discussed whether or not you would testify in this case?
Yes.
You understand that you have a right not to testify, and if you choose not to do that, the jury cannot draw any inference from your failure to do so.
Yes.
And the judge would so instruct the jury that they could not consider your failure or refusal to testify for any means.
Yes.
You understand that you also have the right to testify, and that no one can keep you from doing that.
Yes.
Have you and I discussed the pros and cons of you testifying or not testifying?
Yes.
After our discussions, have you reached a decision about whether you will testify in this case?
Yes.
And that decision that you have reached, is that your decision only based on consultation with me and after observing what happened here in trial?
Yes.
And based on all of that, have you made a decision?
Yes.
And are you going to be testifying in this trial?
No.
Did we go over a waiver this morning that went over some of these rights that we just discussed?
Yes.
And after that discussion and previous discussions, did you in fact sign this waiver dated 7/15/2019?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Please be seated. You have any other proof, Ms. Hopkins?
No, Your Honor.
All right, let's bring them in.
And Judge, if I could just let the court know, as far as rebuttal proof, I don't think we have any, but that phone call that I mentioned literally was being listened to as Mr. Coons was testifying. If I could have maybe 5 minutes to go listen to that to make sure that that is not something that would be rebuttal.
Okay, 5 minutes.
That's fine, Judge.
5 minutes.
Thank you, Judge.
Court will be in a 5-minute recess.